Before we begin, let's bring our hands together in veneration, the Supreme Buddha, our teacher, our master, our guidance. He is the Father, He is the mother of all the wisdom. He found the true meaning of our lives. He showed us a path to free ourselves, reminding ourselves the nobleness of our noble teacher. This is not just a veneration, it's a pledge of allegiance that we make, that we will exert our energy, we will dedicate ourselves to practice the path and achieve what he had showed us. Having that in our minds, let's bring our hands together in veneration, the Supreme Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay. Good evening, everybody. And yeah, if you can turn on the camera, please do so, because then I can see your faces and talk to you. Otherwise, sometimes it's hard to to get the, sometimes it's hard to, we need some second, what do you call, confirmation from your side, whether you understand or not. That's really essential in order to do the session. So ladies and gentlemen, in this and welcome new ones. So this session, like for those who's just joined from today, so we'll discuss around 1 to 1.5 hours, and then I'll give some time to ask questions. So then you can ask questions based on the things that we have discussed. So likewise, we can have this. We can continue the session like that. So ladies and gentlemen, today I was contemplating these couple of days that when I looked at my past, like when I look my past, like 5 years back, because of this Dhamma, it's completely changed our lives. It's something that the way I face the questions, the problems, the way I face the situation, it has completely changed because of this understanding. It's not something that because of that this is not something that I have done, but it happened because of our teachers, because of the association we had. That's why I'm 100% sure that because of the association that you're getting from us every Monday and every day that we meet you, and all the Dhamma sessions that we conduct, all the Dhamma sessions that monastery is conducting, and from the YouTube talks, what actually happens there is it will change your lives. It will change your lives by changing your the point of views. It will change your lives by changing your perspectives, the way you look at the world, the way you perceive the world, the way you look at the world. It's like you're changing the perspectives. By changing the perspectives, you would be able to understand, you would be able to realize the reality of this world. As a result of that, the way you face the situation, it will get completely, it will change completely. That completely happens because of the understanding. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, throughout our lives, we have been experiencing, we went through so many difficult situations. Sometimes the embarrassment, sometimes even though like the guilty feeling that we had, and stress, anxiety, depression, whatever the negative emotions that you had and you're having right now, the ultimate solution for this is the Dhamma. I'm telling you with that conviction, ladies and gentlemen, because earlier, this is not me, who am I, that was like in previously. This is completely changed. When you look at, when you meet me now, like if you met me like 10 years back, and if you meet me now, you will understand the difference what Dhamma has done for me. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, understanding the truth is the real, like, that's the only thing that you have to do as a human being. As a result of that, it will change your lives. It will change the way you react to the situation, the way you perceive the situation. I think those who are practicing with us for like a couple of years, like 1 or 2 years, you have this understanding, you have this, you know this, what I'm talking about. It's not something that happened within one day. It's not something that happened like a couple of sermons. It took so long time. But it has to happen. Otherwise, you'll be like fool at 40, fool forever, right? Even though you are even though you are at 40, if you are still doesn't understand the reality, that means you will be fool forever. It's not, I mean, you can put that 40 into whatever the age that you are in now. Okay, it doesn't matter. So the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you have to understand, that any in our lives, in our day-to-day lives, we spend our life and we have no idea what's going on. We just act according to the situation, according to the things that arise. Then we act, and suddenly, the end of the day, we think that we have done something worth. But that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't done something worth. We think that we have done something worth, but never achieved, nothing achieved. All the time what happened is something always we have, I mean, in our lives we always have missing pieces. We need to fulfill our life. We are trying to find some fulfillment, some satisfaction. But at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you will still have, okay, a question mark, problem to solve. Still you have things to solve. Still you have things to complete. You have done so many things in your bucket list, but still you have something to complete. I mean, this is the life that we are spending. I don't think that if I didn't meet my teacher in 2018, right? I mean, you guys will not be here, and we won't be we will not meet each other at the same time, right? I'll be doing something else in Canberra and doing nonsense, and everybody is in the different avenues and doing nothing. At the end of the day, like, we all will be, I mean, we all will suffer, right, at our dying breath, right? You know, that's why, ladies and gentlemen, understand this Dhamma, following the Buddha's Dhamma, following this reality, the truth, is exactly that changed our life. It will change our lives, ladies and gentlemen, because this is something that you have to have, that determination. This is the determination you need to have. You need to have that determination to follow the path, achieve this goal, achieve the Nibbana, achieve the liberation, your salvation. That's something you need to have. We always have that. We always do. But we search for happiness, but we are searching in somewhere else. We don't look for within us. Happiness is something there within us. There's a nice story I heard somewhere from these Hindus, like when God want to hide happiness, Vishnu, Shiva, or someone is asked, like, where do we hide happiness? Because man will, like human will find the happiness, right? How to hide it? And then I think it's in the Upanishad. I don't know where, like, and then then they discuss, okay, let's hide in somewhere in the under the sea, right? No, then I think Vishnu or Shiva says, no, he will find out. He'll make a submarine and go and find out happiness, and let's hide it somewhere in the sky, like in the space. No, he will find out happiness, because he will make a rocket and go there, and he will find happiness. Then some genius person, I can't remember who is this, there's a story, like, right? And he says, no, let's hide happiness within them, within himself. He would never search that. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen, we all search happiness from outside. We don't search happiness within, because our happiness is within ourselves. Our happiness is with us. It's something buried, it's something there within us. It's something that you can achieve. You can find out by getting rid of the defilements. Because this is something like full moon masked by the cloud. There's a dark cloud masked the full moon. If you get rid of the cloud, then you can find the full moon. The moon is there. Moon is always there. Because of the cloud, it got masked. That's what actually happened. This is why within your mind, the pure chitta, the pure mind is still there. Everywhere, every moment of your lives, the pure consciousness, the righteousness is still there. It's been masked. It's been hijacked. It's been covered by the defilements. What we have to do is get rid of the defilements by understanding the reality. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, Buddha has found that ignorance and attachment is the root cause of suffering. Suffering means that mask. I'm not talking about suffering. Suffering means not suffering. I'm talking about the suffering here means that the dark cloud, which masks the pure consciousness. Right now you have the pure consciousness within you. Pure consciousness is still in action, in motion, in action. We just have to surface it up. We just have to, that's why it's an archaeological experiment. It's not something expedition. Expedition, you find something. When you say you want to achieve Nibbana, some people think that you're trying to go somewhere to achieve Nibbana. Liberation is somewhere there, so you are trying to go there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not something like that. You don't have to go anywhere. Liberation is something, the happiness, whatever the satisfaction, salvation, any name, you can name it, Nibbana, rest in peace, heaven, still within you. It's like what you have to do is archaeological expedition. It's not expedition. You have to surface it up. It's buried within your mind. That's the target. That's what we are. That's why we are doing. That's why you don't have to do anything. You have to sit and listen. Listen and contemplate. Listen and contemplate. Listen and contemplate. That's the only thing that you have to do. When you come to the sasana, that's why the other day one madam asked me, what should I do now? You don't have to do anything right now. What you have to do is just start listening and contemplating. Listening and contemplating. Because you need to associate the teacher. It's like ladies and gentlemen, like the in order to we can convert a metal piece to a magnet by rubbing against a magnet. Metal piece has to be, like, if we want to convert a metal piece to a magnet, what we have to do? We have to rub against a magnet. Then that metal piece will be converted to a magnet. Likewise, you need to associate that teacher, you need to associate that profound wisdom each and every moment. That's the way to realize. That's the way to convert yourself. That's the way to convert yourself to a magnet, not magnet, to a person who enlightened. That's why that association is the key point here. Each and every moment when you experience the negative emotions, like have that in your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Negative emotions appear in your mind because of the ignorance. Which moment? That moment. Because of the ignorance that is there in that moment creates the suffering, creates the negative emotion. It's not because of the outside world. It's not because of the other people. It's not because of your uncle, your aunt, your boss, especially. It's not because of your husband and wife and daughter and son. All the emotions, all the negativity that happens within your mind is actually originated because of the ignorance right at that moment. Because ignorance is not something don't think that ignorance is still ignorance. Don't think that ignorance is something that there. It's constant. No, ignorance is also what? Each and every chitta, each and every mind, ignorance is manifesting. Ignorance is not something there, constant. Don't come to that mind that, okay, I am ignorant. You are not ignorant. There's no you to ignorance. Do you understand that? I don't think that you are ignorant. See, I am very... sometimes you tell about this. See, I am very bad person. I am very ignorant person. I am dumb and I don't know anything. I'm useless. Yes, I am useless. But the thing is, ignorance is not useless. Sorry. Ignorance is useless, but ignorance is not there something to, like, you don't think that ignorance is there with you. Don't come to think that, don't think that you are ignorant. It's not you are ignorant, ladies and gentlemen. Because of ignorance you exist. Because of ignorance you have that, because of ignorance right at this moment this mind feels that there's an entity, there's a person. Right? Because of ignorance, you feel you. So you can't say that you have ignorance. It's not your ignorance. And the other thing, ignorance is also not something that constantly stays. Attachment, don't come to a mindset that attachment is something that I have. I have attachment. No, you don't have attachment. Attachment is not something fixed. Attachment is like attaching, attachment. Yes, attachment. Attachment, the process of being attached is a process. Even though you think, I like cake, right? I like cake. That doesn't mean that 24/7 you like cake. That means liking is not something that you have. Liking is something that appears when the environment is there. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is fixed in this world. Even the ignorance is not fixed. You know that the funny thing is, ignorance itself says what? Fixedness is there. But how about ignorance? Ignorance is not fixed. Nothing is fixed, ladies and gentlemen. Any ideas that exist in the world, these ideas are not fixed. You have the proof. Proof is in the pudding, right? How about the ideas that you had, your day-to-day life? Do you think that they are fixed, or you always keep updating those ideas? You keep updating those ideas, or you have to maintain your ideas. You have to think about, that is. You have to always think. That's why, that some people like here, they are married, right? You have wedding photo. Why you have a wedding photo? Wedding photo should be there to keep reminds you that you are a married one. You have to keep remind that you are doing this, you are doing this, you are married. Otherwise, sometimes if you don't have a wedding photo, sometimes you will, am I married? You will forget about that thing as well. That's why you have to and promises. You promise someone that you will do this, and after that, say likewise you always promise us that you will practice the path for half an hour, and you will offer water to the Buddha, and you keep breaking the promise, and we don't get angry with you because you know why? I know that you are not there. I know that there's a machine there. It's a mind. This mind always have what? Different association, different situation. When the environment changes, according to the environment, different minds appear. Because you are not living, you don't associate us 24/7 like Bakula Tero and me. Like we both have the association of Mahasangha 24/7. In for you, it doesn't have. So it's fair. Sometimes you get digress from the path, so that's okay. No, that's not okay. But you try. The digress from the path happens. That's fine. But the thing is, what you have to understand is, okay, that means practicing the path also you have to maintain, like your marriage. The point that I am raising here is practicing the path is also something you have to maintain. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something like everything that appear in this world are not fixed. They because of the chaotic nature of this environment, because of the chaotic nature, everything want to decay. Everything is in the process of decay. Nothing is fixed in this world. This is chaotic. All the energy, that aggregation, energy doesn't like to be aggregated. Energy want to be free. Always energy is free energy. Energy likes to be chaotic. Energy is free. Right? The natural order of nature is chaotic. Natural order of nature is chaotic. But the thing is, we don't have, we have specific ways. This is this way, this should be this way, this should be that way. So we have specific ways, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the specific ways that we have projected on the environment, on the nature. As a result of that, we want to keep those things in intact in that way. That is the ignorance. That's why throughout our lives, what we have been doing is try to keep, like, we exert our energy to maintain that situation. That's why if you become a doctor, so you have to maintain as a doctor. You have to always remind you, okay, you are a doctor, right? What happened? Otherwise, sometimes, am I a doctor? Yes. Because sometimes you will do something that doesn't suit for a doctor, right? So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, we have to maintain everything that we have created in this world. We have to maintain your house. Even though you don't own a house, even though you have a rented house, still you have to maintain it. Maintenance is there. If ladies and gentlemen, why we have to maintain? Because we have to maintain something, because it's not something fixed. Maintenance comes because of it's not fixed. If it is fixed, you don't have to maintain, because fixed, I'm done. You can say, enough, like I'm done, and okay, it will be there. You can't do like that, because nothing is fixed in this world. Nothing is completed. Nothing is done. Nothing is created. All the things that you have brought to this world, you have to maintain. We all have to maintain. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever think that the electricity, whatever that you have, the internet, and people think internet will be there. So many jobs are relying on what? To maintain the internet. But the thing is, we use internet, we use technology. When we use technology, we don't even think about that this is something that people are maintaining. We think that technology is there, we are using it. See how dumb we are. I mean, just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, nothing is fixed, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing is fixed. But when we take a phone, do you think that, okay, when you buy a phone, do you think the service provider is providing a service or it's there? When you buy a phone, you think, Telstra, Telstra is there. Telstra is there. Optus is there. Vodafone is there in New Zealand. I think Vodafone or O3. I can't remember which one now. Something is there. So they are there. You are buying the phone, so they have to provide the service because you brought the phone. Is it something like that? No, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that they are maintaining. Everybody get together maintaining. Think about this thing like that. I mean, the thing is, we take everything as granted. We think that these are fixed because you feel that fixedness in your mind. You feel that you are you. The world is fixed as well. You are also fixed object. Everything is fixed. Everything is stagnant. Everything is there. That things are there. This is the way you perceive. Anything that happens, anything that comes to your mind always goes to that box of black box. It's not black box, it's black hole. Every thought that appear in your mind goes through that black hole. As a result of that, you always feel what? There. Internet, there. Internet is there. Sri Lanka is there. India is there. New Zealand is there. Sydney is there. Your husband, there. Right? Wife, there. Daughter, there. Ceiling fan, there. Everything. You feel things. Things are there. So why don't we don't have to bother. They are there. Your car is there. Your PhD, of course it's there. Your occupation, of course it's there. That's why we think it's there. They are there. It's there. It's fixed. Everything is fixed. This is how you feel. This is how you perceive this world. It's utter wrong, ladies and gentlemen. This is the problem we have. This is the malfunction in the mind. Our minds there's a malfunction in our mind. But the thing is, because of that malfunction, we feel that we are looking at the outside, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier I was telling, remember, we have been using our mind to detect what's going on the outside. Remember, earlier in these sessions, I was telling, we have been using our mind to perceive what's going on in the outside. Right? There I took an example. Remember that if there's a car, like you have cars, the cars have malfunction detection system. If there's a malfunction in the car, there's a detection system in the car that detects, okay, your tire pressure is low, your this pressure is low, the oil is leaking, something like that. There's a detection system. Then I ask, imagine if there's a problem, if there's a malfunction in the detection system, who is there to detect that? Right? That's what I asked. Now, ladies and gentlemen, things have changed. Now, because this is, we are learning, right? We are realizing, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we think that we are looking at the outside and our mind is detecting what exists in the outside. This is the malfunction, ladies and gentlemen. This is because of the malfunction. Okay, try to understand this. This is what you think. This is your mind. This is you. You are detecting, you are checking, you are recognizing what exists in here. This is you. This is the you. This is you. There's an I and everything is there. You are inside and outside world is there. You are checking what exactly happens in the outside. This is how you feel. Ladies and gentlemen, this happens, this happens because of the malfunction in the system. Right now, you can understand that you are looking at me, you are looking at, don't you think that you are looking at me? Can't you see that? Can you see me? Everybody, can you see me? Yes or no? Huh? Yes. So you are looking at me, right? At least, ladies and gentlemen, right at this moment, you can't look at me because you are looking at your laptop. At least you can't understand that as well, because when you're talking to me, when you're looking at the sermon, when you're looking at the laptop, you think that you're looking at Swami Wahanse. That's what you feel. See how ignorant we are, right? I didn't go to the deep. Like this is the first step that we didn't understand. You are looking at some computer screen. This is like emitting lights. It's not something that Swami Wahanse is not there. See, okay, now where is Swami Wahanse? Your left side, right? Now these pixels are showing Swami Wahanse, the left side Swami Wahanse. Okay, is that the same Swami Wahanse in the right side now? No, ladies and gentlemen, how come that will be the same Swami Wahanse? Because these pixels earlier it was showing another another frequencies of lights. Now this is emitting another brown color frequencies, right? This is how you determine the Swami Wahanse. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, right? I will go deeper, right? I like this session. It's your merits. If you have done merits, then I can understand, I can explain, I can understand as well, because you have done merit something. That's why I can explain these things. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we experience like that. We are looking at the outside, we are checking the outside things are there, we are checking the outside things. This experience itself happens because of a malfunction in the mind. Right now, then we can clearly understand that this is what you experience. The way that you experience right now is ignorance. Like, means that's wrong. There's something problem. There's something wrong in there. That's why you feel in that way. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, when you are looking at me, you think I am here, you are there, and you're watching at Swami Wahanse. And if Swami Wahanse calls you, then what happen? You feel that Swami Wahanse called me. See, he get angry at me. Likewise, when you are discussing with someone, when you're having chat with someone, what happens? Depends on the reaction that the other person is doing, right? Because of the incident, you're always the mind always get fluctuated. You don't have your mind always stirs, right? Your mind always it's not, you can't have unshaken mind. It will always shaking. Because of what? Because of the incident that happens in the outside. It's not outside, ladies and gentlemen, because of the incident, right? The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, that's why, see, even the words that we discuss is talking about outside and inside. How, this is the problem. all the languages who have all the languages that exist in this world, they have developed, people have developed them. These are from what? All ignorant people have developed these languages. Languages, it's really hard to convey a message through languages. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, because you don't understand what I mean, right? You will understand what you will understand based on your experience and based on your merits. That's why it's your merit, it's your point of it's your merit, it's what you have done in the past will guide you to understand the Dhamma. Otherwise, you will fall asleep as well while you are listening to this, isn't it? Hmm? So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand this. Like the way you experience, as you are now watching it, you are now looking at outside. That means there's a problem. There's a malfunction in the mind. That's why you experience in that way. That happens because of the ignorance. That happens because of the ignorance, ladies and gentlemen. The way that you experience, that happens because of the ignorance. Because of the ignorance and attachment, it creates the false sense of separation. False sense of separation. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you feel there are two things in this world. You and the world. That's why you feel, you have a feeling you exist here and you are looking at the outside. You are dealing with the outside. You are experiencing the outside. This, you feel a separation. You feel there's two things, objects. Object and the subject. You feel in each and every moment there's a subject, there's an object and the subject. Subject is you and object is in the outside. That's because of the sense of separation you experience. That's totally because of the false sense of separation that you experience each and every moment because of your ignorance, because of the ignorance. That's why we have to fight against this ignorance as together, as one. Because none of you, like Shiromani, Miss Shiromani, Miss, and anyone, like Vetara, none, like you don't have ignorance. Like it's not your ignorance, it's our common enemy. Even though we can say I mean, you have more ignorance, I don't have. I mean, you can't say that you have more ignorance and I have less ignorance. It's not like that. You all have subscribed to ignorance. It's like a YouTube channel. So you have subscribed, you watch everything that ignorance is telling you. Something like that. Right? Each and every moment, what happens here is, like we have subscribed to ignorance. Everything that appear in our mind filtered through that ignorance. As a result of that, we always feel that separation. We always experience that sense of separation. We always experience the sense of like uniqueness, difference. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand that first thing that we need to realize that what I am experiencing right now, the way I experience has the malfunction. The way I experience the world has a malfunction. There's a malfunction in the way that I experience. That's the first thing you have to understand. The way you experience is not heaven, it's hell. Within your mind, heaven is there. Heaven is in your heart, but you don't know that it's in the heart. You are trying to find heaven in somewhere. Right? This is something you have to understand. This is something you have to realize and first. Do you understand this? So, malfunction is within the mind. The outside world, what is the outside world? Ladies and gentlemen, we have no idea what's going on the outside. I'm not telling that there's no outside. Right? We have to define how to define an outside. We have to think how to define outside, because there's no outside, there's no inside. This is the problem we have. We feel an outside and inside, because there's only one process. You can't isolate outside and inside, because which part is inside? Like, is this a border of inside? I'm asking, just for my interest. What do you feel like? Is this the border of the inside? From here, inside. And from here, outside is outside. I mean, how do you define that? Or what you have here, like inside also, sorry, all what you have right now, right? I mean, when you breathe in, that you have taken some air into your inside then, right? And then you exhale, you are putting out something that in what you had in inside to the outside. I mean, this is something you have to think twice when you say something like that, because I mean, whatever that we have inside, right? This is not inside, ladies and gentlemen. This is all flesh. Everything is what? These are electrons, protons, neutrons, and this is also what? These things also what? Electrons, protons, neutrons. This is also flesh. This is also flesh. Everything is fresh. That's why there's no difference between anything in this world, ladies and gentlemen. It's completely everywhere you can see the same thing. Everywhere you can see the same thing, ladies and gentlemen, because everywhere you can find the same energy. Everything that made out of same energy, including your mind, ladies and gentlemen. This is something you have to understand. We have been talking that. Remember, mind is what? Mind is also not mind. It's also energy driven process. That means energy is there. Right? Remember, like I think we have discussed in here, right? Because I'm now doing so many sermons, I don't know what happened here. Talking to so many people, right? You know, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere you can see energy aggregations, different levels of energy. Everywhere there are different levels of energy, different levels of aggregation. The solid means what? Solid means like ice cube, like solid that you can see, metal, all are what? Densely aggregated energy. And liquid is aggregation level is lower. That means still you have the bonds, the bonds keep this solid. This energy aggregation, the energy is being trapped, energy is being keeping in the one confined area because of the bonds. The bonds have created this solid. Bonds are maintaining this solid. At the same time, liquid and then gas. And what are the other aggregations? You know, ladies and gentlemen, we discussed, I think, space is also what? Aggregation of energy. Space? Yes. And light is also aggregation of energy. These are different levels of aggregation energy. This is aggregation high to low, and this is high to low. I don't have space here, that's why I wrote it here, okay? And then the mind. Slightly, then the mind as well. These are different levels of aggregation. Then, ladies and gentlemen, how do you define inside and outside? I mean, you can't define. Because your body is something here, right? Liquid, and sometimes you have gas as well. You have a mind as well. That means, ladies and gentlemen, you can't define outside and inside. You can't separate these things. This is something exactly you have to understand. You can't look at outside. Because mind always experiences minds within itself. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, mind cannot arise by itself. Mind is not random, auto-generating thing. It's not. It doesn't happen out of the blue. It's not something manifest without causes. It's an effect. It's something, a result. It's an effect that appear. It's an effect that happens because of a reaction, because of an energy conversion, because of a reaction that happens within the, like in the other, we can say outside. I mean, for to refer. This is the mind, right? There should, we all know that. What are the starting point of the mind? Colors, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. Collectively we can say it's Rupa. Color, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. These are the things that appear in the mind initially. This is the mind. Colors are not in the mind, ladies and gentlemen. Colors are the mind. Try to think in this way. Colors are not within the mind. Colors are the mind. Mind is a process. Colors appears within your colors appears within your mind. That statement is wrong. Mind is what? Colors. Mind is what? Sound. Mind is what? Taste. Mind is what? Smell, thought, touch. What you experience is those colors, sight, sound, taste, smell, touch. These are the experience that you have. It appears in the mind, within you, that this is you. Colors, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. These can't, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, these Rupa won't appear in the mind. Won't appear, not in the mind, won't appear if there's no reaction. Fluctuation of energy. There should be fluctuation of energy to generate Rupa. That's why in the Pali textbook Buddha has said, Rupatitiko bhikkave tasma rupanti uchati. Energy fluctuations are creating the Rupa. Rupa means color, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts, experiences. This doesn't mean, Swamin Wahanse, this doesn't mean, sorry, the color doesn't mean, the color doesn't mean Swamin Wahanse. I mean, here I mean the color. You know color? Before you perceive Swamin Wahanse, you have to perceive colors. Then Swamin Wahanse happens. Before you perceive Swamin Wahanse's sound, first sound should appear in your mind. You understand that? Got it? Sound hello. Before you recognize hello as hello, initially you recognize hello. All these fragment collecting, and then you perceive as hello. These are the first initial points, are that fragments of sound, small fragments of sound. Likewise, initially when you recognize this pen, you are not recognizing pen first. Initially color appear in your mind, and then the perception of pen happens. It's a process. It's not something initially, it's not something that happens, pen happens first and then color happens later. No, that's not the way it works. Color happens first and then recognition happens. Color is something superior than the recognition. Color appear first, then recognition appear. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, there should be energy fluctuation to generate color. This is something, the point that I have to raise here. Color won't appear in your mind. Here I'm referring to in your mind, right? Because I used to say that it's not in your mind, it's your mind. Okay. Color appear because of what? There should be energy reaction. The energy reaction here is the electrons are coming, light rays. Okay. Light, is it energy or not? Energy. And let's say you can, I always have a pen, right? To not either flower or pen. These are the two things that I always use to explain these things. Okay, let's say this pen, right? Is there a pen? No. This is bunch of electrons, protons, neutrons. Here, electrons, protons, neutrons, cloud is an aggregation. It's something not. It's not something completed. It's something always what? Fluctuating. This is vibration. Energy is not energy has been trapped here. This actually, you can't say that energy trapped and it's fixed, because actually, ladies and gentlemen, whatever the energy is being trapped here is releasing to the environment. That free energy comes here. This is always what? In fluctuation, in dynamic equilibrium. It's something. Have you seen dry ice? Dry ice. Dry ice, a piece of dry ice always, it's this is liquid carbon dioxide, right? So liquid carbon dioxide, you can see it's like a you can see fog, fume is coming out, something like that, right? So even though, shall I draw it here? Will it be clear? Like this energy that's trapped here, ladies and gentlemen, even though we can say it's trapped here, it's actually not permanently trapped here, because we can't see this from naked eye, right? We can't see this from our naked eye. Scientists have found that, but even they don't perceive in that way. This is not even trapped. This is not fixed here. The free energy comes inside. Whatever the energy been trapped is always goes outside. It's like, the country, an island, sea is always what? Because of the waves, what happened here? Because of the waves, always what? The area keep changing. Keep changing means nothing ever fixed there. Right? Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, this is also what? The outside energy comes to the inside energy goes outside. This is always leaking. But the thing is, it's not, we don't feel it as it is. We feel that this is fixed, this is done, that the company made somewhere, let's say it's made in China or somewhere, everything is made in China, right? Anyway, this is made in China, made in China, now it's made and it's there. It's the same energy that exists here. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's not like that. The energy has been leaked outside and free energy comes inside. There's always what? Equilibrium. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, this light energy comes here, and because of this energy get excited. Particles get excited means now free energy, because of the light energy, electrons get excited. Why do we call electrons get excited? It doesn't mean that electron get excited like you excite yourself. Yeah, it's not like that, ladies and gentlemen, because electrons now get more energy. As a result of that, the vibration, there's a high amount of vibration. The level of vibration increases. As a result of that, like your bank account, if you have more money, you want to always what? Spend, right? If you have more money, you will go somewhere and spend some, like you always want to spend that. Don't you if you have money in your bank account, do you want to keep that money, or you always want to, at least that's why people say invest somewhere. Why? Then you feel that you have done something. It's not keeping with you. You don't want to, you don't like to keep with you. You always want to what? When you have more money, you get excited. You always try to release. You always try to invest something too. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, these electrons, when they get excited, they don't, excited means when high energy, they don't like to stay with that high energy. That means, ladies and gentlemen, what happened here? There's a reaction. There's a complete reaction going on. This reaction is now emitting light energy again. Now tell me, in order to happen these colors in our mind, ladies and gentlemen, this reaction has to happen. Because of the reaction, color appears. Because of the reaction, color appears. Not only from here, even in your body, everywhere, until it comes to the brain, right? We can physically see them. There's a completely energy transformation reaction. It's not something as you think that brain signals are there. No, not signal. They are what? Vibrations. Electronic vibrations. Actually, what's there is, what exactly exists there is an energy fluctuations. Do you understand this up to here? These energy fluctuations plus, ladies and gentlemen, there's another form of energy that's been trapped like this energy. This is what we call vipaka. We will talk about this slowly. This vipaka energy plus this energy, when these two energies come together, right? When this energy, this fluctuation plus this energy, when they come together, this creates the color. Sorry if I... This two has to come together to create colors. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, then you can't say color is something there. Color is not something coming from here. Color is not something coming from here. This is something like hydrogen and oxygen creates H2O. These are the different energy fluctuations plus the energy that has been trapped in the vipaka. Vipaka energy is, don't ask me where is this vipaka energy, because show me electrons, protons, neutrons, then I will show you vipaka energy as well, okay? because these, you can't see them. You can only see colors. Right? The question that you ask, where's vipaka energy? Then where's the electron, proton, neutron? Because you haven't seen outside, like from here. You haven't seen from here, like you only perceive something from here. You can't see beyond this point. Because color appear in your mind based on the energy that has been trapped here plus the energy trapped here. These two energies come together. As a result of that, what happens? Now color appears. This is where your mind starts, ladies and gentlemen. Now this is the mind. Mind means what? The appearance of the first. Mind means initially appear the color. The color appears in your mind. This is the mind. We can't say color appear in your mind, because this is the mind. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, whatever the fluctuations that happens here, when the fluctuations happens in terahertz frequency, when the fluctuations happens in the terahertz frequency, that creates the color. When the fluctuations happen in the hertz frequency, that creates what? Sound. Likewise, different levels of energy frequencies. This body is sensing different levels of frequencies. These frequencies trigger color, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. Do you understand that now? It's not something, don't think that colors are there in the outside, that's why you see them. No, Sound is there in the outside, that's why you hear them. No, ladies and gentlemen, different levels of energy fluctuations are there. Energy frequency, energy differences are there. Energy vibrations are there. These vibrations are sensing. These vibrations are creating the color, sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. Maybe mind, the terahertz frequency, maybe terahertz frequency will be the mind, thoughts. We don't know because we can't see that, right? Maybe because E equals mc squared, right? So the squared means what? This is the speed of light. The twice the speed of light will be the frequency of mind. We don't know. That's what Einstein have found, right? Just for food for thoughts, huh? Don't think about these things. Come. We have to do. We don't have to do science here. This science is enough. Okay. Now try to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. Color, sound are not. Don't think color and sound is sound. Color is color and sound is sound. No. Color is not also color. Color and sound, the difference between color and sound is actually in the outside world the different levels of frequencies, different levels of vibrations. Sound is not sound. Does that sound you? That make sense? Huh? Sound is not sound. Sound is also a part of chitta, part of mind that you experience, that generates what? Based on the vipak energy plus the hertz frequency, vibrations. Light generates the color. This frequency generates the sound. Likewise, the frequency that's trapped in the molecules generates what? Smell, taste. And ladies and gentlemen, you sense this, you sense this, what you call touch, tactile sensation, right? Even though you think, ladies and gentlemen, you can touch these two hands together, ladies and gentlemen, these two hands never touch against each other, because there's always, even though I press too hard, I won't be able, these molecules won't even meet each other, because there's always empty space existing between these two. What actually happened here is there's a flow of energy, there's exchange of energy from this hand to that hand. That's why you can sense this touch sense. I mean, we have to define everything. We have to relearn all this physics that we have studied. Do you remember? Do you know that in the biology we have studied that ATP is our energy molecule? Remember? Because of the ATP, adenosine triphosphate, that's our energy storing molecule, and because of the ATP get digested, it releases energy. That energy is contracting muscles. That's what we learn. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, actually ATP, yes, of course, ATP releases energy. Right? ATP releases energy. As a result of that released energy, right? Okay, like let's say let's use this. When you boil it, what actually happened here is you don't provide heat energy. What actually happened is you are providing free energy to the system. As a result of that, these molecules start vibrating. because of the free energy. Now what happens if you touch here? The free energy that is been there, that is now trying to find a place to release, right? Is now that energy is now coming to the hand. As a result of that, molecules in the hand is also start vibrating. That's what you sense as touch, ladies and gentlemen. Not touch, heat. Heat? Sorry. Heat, right? You sense heat? Yeah. It's not, I mean, nerves ends, the molecules that at the nerves ends, right? They vibrate. As a result of that, what happens? You feel what? Touch sense. Temperature. You feel temperature based on what? That molecules at the nerves ends are vibrating. Now tell me, that's also again what? Energy vibrations, energy fluctuations. Everywhere you can see these fluctuations. If fluctuations are there, there should be space, because space is also made out of the finer form of energy. So it's like, ladies and gentlemen, this is like we are living in an energy room. This whole universe is an energy room. Not only universe, I mean, not only solar panel, the planet, sorry, solar system, but everywhere. Whole universe, entire galaxies are, this is a completely energy room. One energy room. These are aggregations, different places, there are aggregations in the energy. That's what you sense like this. That's what you feel like this. Ladies and gentlemen, now imagine color, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. These are just appear within your mind. I mean, not within your mind. This is your mind, right? This is your mind. It appears based on the fluctuations in everywhere. Now, I mean, this appear. Color, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. These appear. It manifests. This is manifestations. These are manifestations. Manifestations are manifestations. Manifestations just manifest. It's not something there. It manifests. Each and every I mean, don't think that these energy fluctuations are only one time fluctuate and they sit and wait and do nothing. No, fluctuations are keep happening, because each and every moment the whole universe is at flow. Everywhere you can experience this flow. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have any gaps between two colors. You always feel colors are there, because colors are always appearing, sound always appearing, sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, always appearing in your mind, ladies and gentlemen. They appear. It's always in production. That's why we can't. And there's a whole lot of these balls. Vipaka poles are there. So many energies been trapped here. This energy plus these fluctuations combined together, they play this game. You are not the player. You are just a puppet. This Vipaka energy and these fluctuations are playing this game. We are just, I don't know what we are doing. Just experiencing. I mean, experience business. I mean, whatever that manifests in the mind is exactly, it's something there. It's something manifest. There's no controller behind this. There's no doer behind this. Because of the vipaka, because of the fluctuation, it keeps manifesting, ting, 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 ting. Process keeps happening. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, now this is something we'll discuss next week as well. So, this is something. Now, When color, sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts, these manifest in our mind, right? That is the mind. These manifestations. Your mind is then, we can't say it's in our mind. Why? It's the mind, right? That's the beginning. That's the starting point of the mind, right? When these manifest, when color, sight, sound, taste, smell, touch manifest, then this aggregation process starts, right? Here I'm not going to talk about this Vedana Sanya. Don't worry about these things. I'm talking about this Sankara, right? Buddha has explained mind in 5 aggregates: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Earlier, I remember I discussed with you about up to here, and I said that I will talk about these things later. So today I'll focus on here. Sankara. I mean, you don't have to learn, you just have to realize, right? Do you want to learn? If you want to learn, then I'll switch off this camera and I'll go away, because this is not something to learn. This is something that you have to realize, feel it. Ladies and gentlemen, each and every moment, what exactly happens in your mind is always color appear. Colors, like small fragments of color appear. Actually, the 164 degrees that you can see, right? What actually happens here is colors, small fragments of color, millions of color minds. The colors appear. Then matching colors aggregate. The matching colors get aggregate. That's what happens. That's why, see, I mean, imagine this, and the whiteboard, right? Do you perceive all together, all three things together, or do you perceive this is Swaminasi, this is pen, that is whiteboard, right? But forget about the 164 degrees. Think about only this, whatever the screen that you are looking at, right? In that screen, from the screen, it because of the light rays, it generates colors within your mind, right? Here it generates, now these are the yellow colors that generate here. The color, this is the clump of colors, right? There's no separation here, because the colors here, there's no separation. Everywhere you have this is just a cloud of colors that appear in your mind. But in your perception, ladies and gentlemen, you don't perceive these two together, right? Not these two together. You don't have the border like this, right? You don't perceive that border like that, right? See, there's a rooftop, the border as well, corner. You don't perceive that things together. This Swamin Wahanse's pen and like everything together. You don't perceive it in that way, right? You separately identify this and that and the background. Do you understand that? How does that happens? That's where Sankara is doing the job. Sankara means, ladies and gentlemen, matching causes collecting, coming together. These whatever the colors that appear in the mind, collectively perceive. Collecting and then perceive. Collecting and then perceive. So that's why all the fragments of colors that appear in the mind is collectively telling the collecting process happens. That's why you collect these colors and then it gives a perception of what? Pen, right? Can you hear the sound? Can you hear that? Yes. So when I talk to you and when I do that, you hear both sound, both, I mean, you you hear both, right? You hear separately, right?
Yeah.
Can you separate it out? So these all are sound, right? But the thing is, because of the sankara process, because of the collecting process, because of the aggregation process, what happens? You perceive that's glass sound, this is Bante's sound. See? I mean, actually, there's no Bante sound, there's no glass sound appear in your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever the mind appear because of the frequencies and energy variations. As a result of that vipaka, that creates sound fragments in the mind, and different sound fragments coming together and collectively experience as what? This is glass sound, this is Bante's sound, this is Swami Namaste's sound. Okay, who does that job? Sankara. It's not, don't say you are doing it. Okay, if you do it now, stop, don't do that. If then I'll ask, don't stop doing it, then you will be able to stop doing it, right? So it's not you are doing it, ladies and gentlemen. It happens even though there's a bomb, right? If I talk to you, you will not, and you will notify that there's a bomb and there's a Bante sound. That's Bante sound. That's not that's a bomb sound. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, even like when you eat something, huh? How about when you eat something, even though you mix and eat, that's chicken piece, and that's paripu, that's dal, that's these different things. You recognize that. Nice. Something salty as well. Something. Is it? Have you had pepper? Have you had pepper? Yeah. See, likewise, you would be able to recognize. That recognize process happens based on that aggregation process. This aggregation process happens. The thing is, don't come to that trap that you are recognizing something that exists in the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, you haven't recognized anything in the outside. That's a false sense that you think that everything that you sense is something happened in the outside. No, there's no outside. Different energy fluctuations are creating the color, sight, sound, taste, smell, touch. As a result of that, aggregation process happens based on the matching causes get aggregated. These matching causes these matching causes means, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes they are not actually the whatever the causes that matches to you, causes that match to you is not the causes that match to others. That's why sometimes that some sentences, like some people put comma in somewhere else, like in the when you I don't know, like there are some sentences that I'll come up with some later next week, right? When you put the comma in the wrong way, the total meaning changes, right? But some people, like, based on the mindset that you have, you can put different commas in different places, right? Like that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, not put comma, like when you perceive, you recognize, you feel it in different ways. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, this sankara, right? Sankara happens based on your previous experiences. Sankara happens, right? That's because of the sankara means aggregation. Sankara means collecting and collecting process. It collects, aggregate and experience, right? That's how this experience is generating. Do you understand this sankara process? Because sankara is happening each and every moment. Otherwise, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, whatever that appear in the mind is completely a mess. Without sankara, you won't recognize anything. It's like huge array of sound and huge array of colors appear, and because of the sankhara process, you recognize camera, laptop, and all these things. The recognition happens based on the sankhara process. Now tell me, would you be able to find out a moment that sankhara not happening? No, each and every moment, whatever the experience, whatever the each and every split of a second, sankhara means something happens again and again and again. Now tell me, sankhara is also then manifestation, isn't it? Sankhara is also a manifestation, because manifestation means what? Remember our beautiful example? What? Candle flame. Flame is always there or always happening? Happening. It's not something there. Because of the reaction, flame is something appearing. Always, it looks like fixed, but it's not fixed. It's not there. It's always happening. Being. Likewise, sankhara is also what? I'm not talking about the vijnana. I'm not talking about because of the aggregation you perceive. No, I'm talking about the aggregation process. Aggregating. The process of aggregation is also what? Always happening. Does that make sense? It's not the result because of the aggregation. I'm talking about the aggregation process. It keeps going on. It keeps happening. It's something manifesting, always experiencing, always there. It's not something done. It's not something finished. It's not something completed. It's always what? Happening. Okay. I think let's call it a day. There was